reason we made a plexiglass table over here in this lab was because we're going to use electromagnetic sensors and we don't want interference with any metallic objects. The whole thing cost us about $500, and I'll put up a list of the components and the material that you'll need to create something similar to this. Alright, so basically you have to drill a hole through the plexiglass, which can be problematic at times because plexiglass does melt at high temperatures. Alright, so you set up, you've got to clamp your plexiglass components, make sure they're very stiff, they're not moving, and then you get your drill, and you want to drill a straight hole straight through, so get your angles right, and then start off with a little area just to make a mark, and then after that you just go fast. Alright, so then it becomes really hot, it melts it kind of screws up the drill bit, so I just kind of do this and then start all over again. If you can use a coolant, it'll be better, but I don't have a coolant. Alright, so at this point, after we've drilled this hole, I'm going to go ahead and drill it with a bigger drill bit, and I'm just going to go kind of halfway through the hole, and this will make it easier to tap place to the nylon rod after we need to tap it. So I'll just kind of go halfway. This is a bigger drill bit, and getting started is always the hardest part. So and that's all I'm going to do. It doesn't look very pretty, but it will after we tap it. So this is a T-handle wrench with the tapping bit. So we can go ahead and tap it right away. It's very important that you use something like a lubricant because this will save you a lot of time and energy. I'll be kind of tapping 2 revolutions forward and 1 revolution back. And keep doing that all the way down. After this point, we're going to have to do it to that second portion as well. So then we made our tap, say through both ends of the leg and of the side frame, and now I'm just going to use these threaded nylon rods. Can you see it? It's threaded, and this is what I'm going to use. Remember, the table has to be without any metal. So let's just see how that went. And you just screw it in. You can do that manually, and you can see it's going in pretty smoothly because we did tap it, and so you can kind of thread it all the way down. Should be simple and straightforward. Easier if you use some kind of device to do it to help you out rather than make your fingers bleed. So you can see towards the end it's opening up, and then it just comes out through the other end. At this point we've made our drill and tap for the legs and for the side frames, and we're ready to glue the components. So what we're going to do here now is use a combination of epoxy, glue, to glue the nylon onto the plexiglass, and then we'll use the weld-on cement for the plexiglass onto the plexiglass. It's important to do this step pretty quickly, and so you usually have to have an extra pair of hands to help you do that. I'm not going to do it, but just for demonstration's sake, that's what we usually do. I'll put some of the epoxy through in this hole and this hole, drive the needle in, at the same time use the cement in between. This was after 24 hours of leaving them together. I had my nylon rods straight through to the other component, and this is also cement welding. I did this for this component and for that component and left it overnight for 24 hours. You got one H component. And then you do it for the other side, same thing. Another H component. There you go, at this point. And so you've got two H components which you can now join. And so if we go over to the other side, at this point I'll use the slab of plexiglass. This is 24 inch by about 4 inches, and it's 0.2 of an inch thick, 0.22 inch. And at this point we can connect to the two H components with these. Now again, you have to use a C-clamp and kind of put it into place, leave it 24 hours, same thing for this piece. Add this one for further stability, so you can see that this and this component will kind of make the table stable, especially to compression in this direction. Okay? And over here, we've added another component up here, another slab, also to help stability in compression in this direction. If you look over here, I've added this component as well, and this is to stabilize the table in kind of the shear direction. I've got two of those. So this is how it looks, and it's stable. It looks okay. And I was able to sit on it. I weigh about 180 pounds.